In this video, I'm going to explain the add new product process. In here, user can select a product category. When the user select a product category, it will automatically show the brands that sell mobile phones. So in here, the user can select the product model, give a product title, brand new, give the condition. In here, we can select a color. If the color doesn't exist, we can give a color. Right. So in here, the new color is blue color is added. You can give the quantity, the cost per item, delivery cost within Colombo, delivery cost out of Colombo, and a user can only add 3 images or less than 3 images and save the product. So if we go to the code in add.product.php, the first thing is that I have done is I take all the categories from the database using a select query and assign it to this category result set, and then take the number of rows and assign it to this num, and then iterate. While it is iterating, I want to fetch all the data from this result set and assign it to this category data. And in here I am displaying the category name and given the value as the category ID, because in the backend I want to use this category ID. And in here also, in this onChange event, I have created an onChange attribute and then given the function name called load brands. So the moment this category changes, this will load the brands that sell that particular category. So here if I choose mobile, see, this will load the companies or the brands that sells mobile phone products. So inside the script.js, we have the load brands function. So this function, our first thing is I've done is I've taken the element, the docket element by ID. So this select element, and I'm taking the dot value, taking the value and assign it to this category ID variable. Then I create this XML HTTP request, and then I'm sending a get request, and I'm doing a URL binding to this C variable and assign this category ID, and I'm sending as asynchronous. The first thing I have done in load brand process.php, I brought the connection.php file, and then I check if there is a get variable called C. So if it is exists, take that value and assign to category ID. And then here inside this database class we have the search method, and I'm going to write this query, select everything from category hash band where category ID is equal to this category ID I'm getting, and take the result set and assign it to category result set, and from the result set take the number of rows and assign it to category number of rows. And now I can loop it. So inside this loop I'm going to fetch the category from the category result set. I'm going to fetch the category data and assign it to this category data variable. In this category data I have this brand ID, and I will take this brand ID and assign it to this brand ID variable. So using this brand ID I can get the brand. So select everything from brand table where brand ID is equal to brand ID, and then I will assign the brand that results it to this variable brand rs, and using fetch assoc I'm going to get the data from the brand rs and assign to brand data. So in here I close this PHP tag, and between these two PHP tag I have given the option tag. So this option tag I will send this option tag to front end. So if I go to the script.js, I'll catch this option tag in here. So r.onReadyStateChange equal function, the anonymous function. In here I create if statement. If ready state equal to 4 and status equal to 200, that means the response HTTP request is successful. So whatever I'm getting from the backend, response.text means whatever I'm getting from the backend, assign it to this T variable. So this is what I'm getting from the backend, this option tag. assign it to this t variable, and then go to document.get element by id brand, which means here here inside this element, so this is the element I am getting. So document.get element by id, the brand dot in html, and give this t, and this will show here. It will remove this option tag, this both option tags, and show the one we are sending from the backend. So I will show it to you now. And I click mobile phone. See here, it got automatically filled with Apple and Samsung brands. So if you go back to add product.php file, in here, this is I load all the brands. In here I load all the models, and if we come down here, this each input field have a unique ID, and in here this is where I show all the colors. In here we can also add a new color. So if I use go here and give a color and click add, it will invoke this function. And if you go to the add color here inside this script.js, I'll take the value, the input field. I'll take this input field and take the value of this input field and create this XML HTTP request to send a asynchronous request to the backend. And in here I'm going to send it as get, and I'm going to send it to add new colored process.php and do a URL binding. This is the variable name, and I'm going to assign this color name to this color. And if you go to the add new color process, in here I bring the connection.php to write the SQL queries, and in here I get the color using underscore get, because I'm getting the HTTP request as a get method. So I'm now using this get to get that to get the value color and assign this to this variable. And in here I am doing, if this color name is empty, then I will give a color name is required message. And I'll come to this else. In here first I check whether this color name already exists in the database. If it is exists, that means if this is equals to if this number of rows, this color result set will get this. I'm checking the number of rows of this color result set. If it is equal to 0, that means this color doesn't exist. Then I'm inserting that this value to the table. If not, that means this color already exists in the database. So after that process, we have the image preview process. Inside this change product image function, the first thing is I'm taking the element get document.get element by id image uploader and assign it to this images, which means this input field. And then in this input field I am going to use images dot onChange event, means every time if a value changes, it will invoke this anonymous function. So this inside this anonymous function, first thing is I'm taking the length. So this dot files is an array. I'm taking the length of this array and assign it to this file count. Inside this if statement, file count is smaller than or equal to 3. Then we go inside this if statement, else I will show this error. I will show this error. A user can only upload less than 3 or less than 3 images. So we go inside this if statement, and in here I have created a for loop. The reason I created for loop because I want to access each file. So to get the each file using this dot file means this same thing. So this dot files, like I said, it's an array. To access each element or each file in an array, we can use open these brackets and give X here. This will, using this I can access each file in an array and assign it to this file variable, and then using window.url.create object URL I can create an URL for these files and assign it to each file. I am creating a URL and assign it to this URL variable, and after that document.getElementById.source or src equals URL. So which means these three elements. So now I will show it to you. See, it previews these three images. After the image preview functionality, we come to the save product button. So after user filled all these input fields, when user click on save product button, this function will invoke. As a set product functionality, I am taking all the elements by ID and assign it to this variable, and in here I create a condition variable and equal to 0. In here document I create a if statement document.getElementById b check. That means this input variable, and you can see this brand new input and the type used input. Both input fields type is radio. A radio button gives us a boolean value. So in here I check is this is true, dot check will give us the boolean value. If this is true, then condition equals to 1, else document.getElementById. If the user choose used, then condition is 2. The reason I did like this, because when I'm writing SQL query in the backend, I need to give the brand new ID or the used ID, and after that in here also I'm taking all the elements by ID and assign it to this variable, and then I created a new form data class and assign it to this f variable, and then I want to send this as key pair value. So in here I have given the key and the value, and I also have to send the images to the backend. To send images, first I taken the length from the files. This files is an array, so taking the length, and to get the each element in an array I have to create a for loop. So inside this for loop I am f dot append image plus x, and then image dot files, and I am going to open brackets and give this x. And to send this form to the backend as asynchronous, I create a new object XML HTTP request object and assign it to this R variable, and in here r.open I want to send it as a post method to add product process.php, and I want to send it as asynchronous. And r.send means with in this HTTP request I want to send this form as well. So inside add product process.php I started a session and then brought the connection.php file. Then I'm checking this session not checking, actually I'm taking the logged in user's email address and assign it to this email variable. Then I'm taking all the values that I get from the front end. I get those values as a post request, so that's I'm using this post underscore post and assign these all values to these variables, and then I do a validation check. After all these validations are passed, I come to the last else. This last else I am searching everything in the module hash brand. So here select everything from module hash brand, where module ID is equal to module this ID and brand ID is equal to brand ID. Then whatever the result set I get, assign to this MSB result set, and then I create a global variable called MSB ID, because I need this ID in my product. When I'm inserting data to the product table, I need this module hash brand ID. So I check if this result set has number of rows. So if this row is equal greater than 0 means we have number of rows. That means data exists in this result set. So if this data exists, fetch that data and assign it to this MHB data variable, and then get the ID and assign it, and get the ID from that MHB data and assign it to this variable. So this is the global variable that I created here. Else, that means this data doesn't exist, then insert these two IDs that I get from the front end. So insert into model hash brand, insert into these two columns, insert these to these two columns these values. So now I need the ID for this. So I need the ID. To get the ID, I can use database connection insert ID. So this insert ID will give me the last insert update query ID. So the last, it will return me the last ID of the insert or update query. So this is the last insert query I did. So I will get the ID of this insert query. So then I can assign it to this MHB ID. Now I have the model hash brand ID. Now I need to create a date. Now I have to create a date to show the day I created this product. So after that, I create the status equal 1, and then I come to insert I'm using IUD method in the database class, insert update delete, and write a insert query. Write this insert query. So then I need this latest insert product ID. So to get that ID, I'm going to do the same thing, connection insert ID, and get the product ID. And the reason I need this product ID, because I want to save the product ID in the product image table. So after that, I want to get the size of this file. So I'm getting these files from here. I'm sending this form to the back, this IMG to the backend. So I'm getting the size of this file and assign the length. So this file is an array, so I'll get the length of this array. So the length is greater than or equal to 3 and the length is greater than 0. Then go into this if statement, else I'm saying invalid image count. So the images, the user has to give 3 or less than 3 images, and also have to be greater than 0. So he has to at least upload one picture. So then I am creating this allowed image extensions, and in here I am giving all the acceptable extensions. So JPEG, JPEG, PNG, SVG plus XML, and I am creating an array and assign this array to this allowed image extensions. So this allowed image extension is now an array. So after creating this array, I am going to loop. Inside this loop, I am checking if I get this files images from the front end, these file images. So if I get these file images, I will go inside this if statement and then take each file. In each iteration, I will take each file and assign it to this image file, and then from this files I am going to take the file extension. And in here, using this if in array, I want to check whether this file extension is whether whatever this file extension is exists inside this array. So if this file extension doesn't exist inside this array, I am going to give this else not an allowed image type. So if this if statement passed, if this condition is true, then I will come to this new image extension. In here, using this if else statements, if and else if statement, I am going to check file extension is equal to image /gpg, then assign this new image extension variable to this .gpg. So like that, I'm doing this to every extension, and then I want to create a new I want to create a path to these images. To save these images, I want to create a path. Not to create a path, actually give the path. So in here, resources, go inside this resources folder, and in this products folder, go inside there, and I want to name this image with the title and then underscore the x and then underscore create a unique ID and then dot give the image extension. So like this. So here see the product name, the unique ID and the extension, and we also have the 01, the x. So after that I'm using this move upload file. I'm going to move from the temporary place, from temporary location to this file name. So this temp name is a temporary location that is stored in our RAM. So this will be removed from that location and give this send this to move this file to this permanent location. And after that I want to save this product image in the product image database, sorry, the product image table. So I'm using insert update delete method. So idea I'm going to send this SQL query as a parameter, and after it executes I will get this echo success. Now I will show you I will create a product. In here I'm going to give a category as mobile phones and laptop, and then book. I'm going to give brand new, color is silver 20. I will give this amount. In here upload images, I'm going to give 3 images, then save product. Then here the product is successfully saved. If I go to home.php, you can see this is the new product that not this one, this is the new product I saved in the database. So this is all for this video. Thank you for watching.